Hi, I'm Craig Alley. Welcome to Ask Total Health. This week we are going to talk about how to make yourself more resilient, how to build your physical, mental, and emotional resilience. Now we're just going to tap into the emotional side of things, yeah, because that can go off my expertise a little bit, and then also, there can be other factors that influence that. So we'll touch into that, and then really look at mental and physical. But the one thing I will say is that they all link in together. If you're breaking down physically, either mentally and emotionally are going to follow, or emotionally and mentally is going to follow. Again, if you're breaking down mentally a little bit and you're weakening here, then there's going to be some kind of emotional reaction, and then there's going to be some kind of physical reaction, and it's all interlinking all the time. So that's why we have to address all of them. So we're going to have a look at a couple of things that can make you more resilient in all of these areas, and that will make you more complete and give you more energy to put out there and kind of take on whatever life's kind of throwing at you. So we're going to start with the emotional. Now, first thing I'm going to say is one of the reasons I'm not going to go too far into emotional is because it does go out my expertise a little bit, and there may be some kind of trauma or things that have kind of happened in your life that are causing some kind of emotional trauma or emotional pain. Now that kind of thing you either have to kind of go off and address yourself, obviously, or kind of speak to a counsellor, speak to a kind of psychologist, a specialist in that, and that's definitely advisable to do. People who use things like counsellors and psychologists and stuff will recover from any kind of slight kind of breakdown a lot quicker than people who just try and manage it on their own. But basically, to increase our emotional well-being, first of all, rather than kind of sitting there and wallowing, even if things are really, really bad. Now I put my hand up because I've done it before as well. I'm sure I will do it again. But try be more charitable. There's lots of research there on happiness. It says if you give random acts of kindness, if you are more charitable, you will be more happy. It's not about taking in; it's about giving out. So when you're at your lowest point, can you still give out? That's gonna show strength of character. That's gonna make you emotionally strong. That is going to up your self-esteem and self-confidence. That's going to make you engage a bit more emotionally and feel emotionally kind of connected and better about yourself. So there's one thing, when you're down, give more out and give it to the right source and give it to the people that need it. Guarantee, without a doubt, you'll feel better about yourself for that. The next thing, before we kind of go really into the physical and mental, again, it's tying it all together. When you're feeling kind of emotionally down, sometimes we can concentrate and focus on that too much. Sometimes you just want to get yourself up and get yourself moving, engage in something different, and don't kind of feed that emotional energy too much, because it probably, if you're feeling low and you feed it too much, you're just going to keep going further and further into it. So either, sidetrack yourself with some mental activity or some physical activity, because they all are interlinked. Now, on the mental side of things, what we're going to look at is how do you stop yourself kind of taking yourself into a deeper pit of kind of negative thoughts. When times are hard, we're having a hard time at work, we're having a hard time with relationships, normally you start to overthink. Yeah, you get to that point where you start to, there's one or two things that come into your life that creates a bit of a negative thought, and then you put another one on it, another one. Next thing you know, you've got all these imaginary issues out of nothing, basically. It was just one little thought, and none of them have happened yet, but you've created this big kind of whole new scenario, a whole new kind of life almost, with all these imaginary issues. So nip that in the bud. When you get a negative thought, just be aware when you get 2 or 3 down the line, nip it, retrace it, and just be more mindful, kind of deal with what you've actually got. And that takes me on to the next thing. Meditation and mindfulness, it's a vital thing to do, it's a vital thing to use. Yeah, in today's society, we've got so much information coming into our brain. Yeah, and again, there's research out there proving that our brain can't deal with this overload. This is why people are having anxiety problems. Stress is higher than what it's ever been. Research is showing as well. Why? Because we've got more to handle, more for our brain to handle. It's almost like it's too cluttered up. So how do we do that? We need to clear things out a little bit. Being mindful, practicing meditation. That doesn't mean you have to be sitting on a nice big rug with joss sticks and your legs crossed, humming or anything. You can just stand or sit still. Close your eyes if you want to, or keep your eyes closed. Just sit in a bit of silence, put a timer on 5, 20, 40 minutes, whatever it is you want to do. That's meditation. You may not enjoy it whilst you're doing it as well. Your mind might be racing around, but what it will do is eventually sieve all that out and clear some of the garbage out of your head. Give you a little bit of head space, give you a bit of clarity. You can then start to deal with things mentally a little bit more. You have that kind of more mental energy, and it's amazing how it can just start to, you can just start to feel better emotionally as well. So there's that little connection. And with the mental and physical, meditation has proven to have to create, you know, a positive physical response as well, which takes us on to the physical side of things. When we are stressed, generally we think about building up more stress, using our energy up. I'm really stressed, so I'm going to go and do a boot camp circuit, I'm going to go for sprints, and all you're doing is just creating more stress, breaking yourself down further. So when you're thinking about your physical being, whether it's your food or your exercise, we want to think about energy in rather than energy out. So our food, when you're making choice, you know, at lunchtime or for your dinner, think about which meal or which source out of that choice would give you more energy and take less energy out of you. We know things like sugar and coffee and everything will give us a little bit of energy, but later on it's going to really take the energy out of us. So think about foods that are going to give you long-term energy. And with your exercise, rather than jumping into that, you know, the sprinting, the, you know, lifting weights until you fall over and throw up or whatever, think about putting energy back in. Now you can do any form of exercise and build your energy. It's just the manner how you do it. You can go out for a run, take your time, get your breathing going, you know, just kind of build into your natural flow, and that'll be you putting energy in. You can lift weights, you know, again, just build up your sets naturally, just gradually build up your weight till you get to the heavier set, switch all your systems on, and then when you get to that point where your body's really starting to tire, just pull yourself out, save some energy, and go into the next session. And that's how you start to build your energy up rather than, you know, blowing it all out basically. So just to recap, some basic tips on resilience and well-being here. Emotional resilience, give more out, be more charitable. You know, there's always people in worse situations than us, and for, you know, in a way that makes us feel better that we can help these people. Yeah. If there's any kind of long-term emotional issues or problems there, speak to a specialist, speak to a professional about it. Our mental well-being and resilience, stop the layering of thoughts and stop kind of digging yourself into a deeper hole with your problems just by adding problems to it, because they're all imaginary. Add some meditation, some stillness, some mindfulness to help clear your mind. And with your physical side of things, put in foods that are going to give you energy and use exercise to build your energy. Some very simple tips, but I've seen it thousands of times over. These tips work, and they will make you more resilient and give you more energy and happiness as well. So we'll be back with another video next week. Thanks.